Today's February 20th, 2021. It's a Sunday. I don't exactly want to do this piece, but I don't have a choice. This morning I saw on the map a fractured pressure, whatever, where it looks like the puzzle, if the low pressure puzzle of Jersey looks a certain way, and if Long Island and New York and Connecticut look in tri-state, look like their regular puzzle piece size by regular cartographer's map, topography not being part of it. And then all of a sudden you go to high pressure rise systems, for instance, and now you see a more fractured landmass. If you are looking from a human, and I'm not talking satellite image, I'm talking it's a cartoon drawing of like a human looking down in this format to North America, or my piece of North America. All right, so there's a medical condition called Rectus Abdominal Diastasis. They have labeled on the definition on Google as my reference, RAD, in this radical pressurized differential. Now, I wasn't born with this condition. I was born with rectus abdominis intact, and I've had it, when it ripped apart the first time, I had it rectified. I had an inner suture corset pulling in the abdominal muscles, and when that happened through a procedure called tummy tuck, I could breathe. Finally, I could hold myself upright with my shoulders back. I had the strength again by muscle to pull myself back and to be able to breathe properly, because the phrenic or the diaphragm is when it changes and this starts to distend because of the separation where the zipper is in strength. Then all of a sudden the diaphragm loses its strength, and then breathing becomes incredibly difficult. It does not help that the outside barometric and tidal pressure is so erratic in this area. I don't know sea elevation. I don't know I'm blind. I'm blind in the field. I just know some of my stuff. I know what I'm going through. And so if I look in the mirror, first of all, my width has increased. My shoulders have stayed the same, but there's, on top of the striated muscle, the body has formed adipose, which they call cellulite, L-I-T-E. When you look at it underneath a microscope, it looks like these white pouches of inflatable, almost like I say popcorn, but it's not the right term. It looks like bubble wrap that you get when you wrap around something that you want to protect before you ship it, like a glassware, like if I order, like, whatever. So it looks like bubble wrap, and they increase, and at times I've had when I was born, I had none of this. It somehow was produced on top of this, on top of the striated muscle. And acts as some kind of energy conduit, I don't know, or energy storage. That's how they teach energy storage in the local community colleges. But it is part of this integration between what the pressurized, I mean, when I go for an eye exam, since I was little, they puff this air thing straight into your eye, which you have to sit there with your eye open, and then all of a sudden it comes, and then it almost kicks your head back. They say it's for glaucoma purposes, whatever. But that puff of air, if it is a pressurized system in the atmosphere, can cause more damage on the land and to the genetics, plus a variable whatever between weathermen and time service. I, again, don't know where they work. I don't know. I mean, I would assume they know that what we're experiencing down on the ground. I mean, but again, I don't take anything under assumption. So the breathing in the pleural area between the two lungs is very labored and laborious, but I have a secondary dysfunction, which is after the last child in 2012. It seems the rectus abdominal diastasis opened again. Now, there's this word India, I-N, and then it's D-I-A. The first three letters of diastasis is D-I-A, because there's a population of people that have some whatever that have beseeched me my entire life to my face, claiming to be Indian. I'm not arguing with humans. I'm just not. I'm not into their words, associations, and their games. I'm not. What I have is major problems with my biological and the interaction with the atmosphere, and it has something to do with the argument over words. I'm going to refer to Tomas, right. If you could find me a tomahawk named Tomas or Thomas, I think there's an N and a J connection somewhere with a roast beef ball. So anyway, so now I've got this right here is distended again. Not because my sides and my front are tight and strong. It is the suturing where the zipper is that have come undone. So even though the oblique area is tight, it's almost working in a counterintuitive effect, making the diaphragm protrude as I walk, which also hunches over because I don't have enough inner muscular retraction in order to function normally. Again, I know everybody just runs and jumps to like diet and nutrition. It's not that simple when you're in erratically diverse high and low pressure system area that's taking a toll on your body that nobody even takes into account or effect. I also put on, but I didn't like the way that the skeletal photograph was this morning, between the greater trochanter, the femoral head, and is it acetabulum? It's ACE. It looks like antebellum, but it's with an ACE, an ace at the beginning of it. So what I have is, it's like the energy's coming, this morning I had this pain, it's like the energy's coming in through the greater trochanter, and then its terminus is in the socket of the hip, which is the acetabellum. I don't know, it's something along those lines. I can't get the exact in my head, it's just ace. I used to wear an ace hat for space. And then it has something to do with Bellum. And it has something to do with my balance. In my knees my knees crack, my feet are cracking. As I change position from horizontal on the bed, the pressure from there, when I change direction to vertical, so when I change from the x-axis to the y-axis, in AXIS, my body, the bones, the interstitial fluid at the lower extremities, being my knee and my ankle and my feet, they start popping and cracking until the interstitial fluid and the bones start to acclimate with whatever the pressure in the room is. I hear from time to time in the corners of the room, it like almost zapping, but it's like a subtle crack, but it travels from sides of the room. Sometimes it is timed with a cracking within one of my joints. I'm having trouble with my elbows and my metatarsals at the moment, and my carpals, with trying to hold on to something. The strength of my phalanges, which is the fingers or the digits, is hard at times, not always. It depends on what's going on in the weather. So this is like advanced medical, but integrated with some kind of advanced, I call it weaponry, when the weather and the pressurized systems get this bad. But that's the amount of physical in physique to physical and the interaction. I almost feel like at times, like the gravity on the ground gets so heavy, it feels almost like, in medical terms, sometimes after a surgery you'll get something called an adhesion, ADHESION. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes you get this adhesive effect, where something no longer glides within a system that's been, I mean, again, after surgery, the body's gone through, you could use the word abuse, but I don't want to get to malpractice, but again, after my tummy tuck, everything worked beautifully. I was feeling great. I was able to hold myself up. I was continuing to exercise. After the second child, again, it went into complete disrepair, and I don't have money to fix it again. And then once that seal or like gasket pops on the abdomen, it is so hard, even through exercise. It's, again, sometimes it just aggravates it more on the breathing aspect of it, because it just gets so pulled out of alignment. So I try to say ginger with whatever. I have to think about this. I made a lot of notations this morning about some of the local events that they're portraying that are happening at this exact time. Whether they've already happened or not, I'm not quite clear. But it seems like there's some societal thought that the news that comes on and is televised, when it says live or when it says the first, that it's happening in real time with wherever we are in whatever. So, so I don't know how that goes, with this premise that I spoke of the other day called Bush people, meaning it could be President Bush, could be the Greater Britain Bush band that has an American album, could be continent related to a different subset of a population of something. I will say, so we don't quantumly entangle the wrong two at Bay and Ocean, the Bay and Ocean people. When Eric Thomas Jefferson came in Silver Audi, he was bald. Not to be confused with Eric at World Gym, that had some form of hair on his, underneath his Boston baseball cap. And there's whatever in whatever. Today on the news, I found out his name is John Elliott, the weatherman, where I saw the fractalization of the land, which made me curious. After this week also, I felt almost like the house, like it was this weird vibration, and then an alarm in the back went off for fire. And again, I have no way of checking or knowing or who to call. But John Elliott today is at some place called New Egypt, in Jersey at a fair. It looks like it's a place to go. I'm still in Bayside though, and I'm on foot at the moment. Bayfoot, Fish Island. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.